남들이 하는 거 따라할 거라면 뭐로 예술을 하냐고 마음속 미님이 나한테 치라고 딴지를 가지지 말라고 증인들 벽은 아니라고 이해 못하겠지 아무도 달리도 파블로 아블로처럼 내 비전은 완전히 다른 거
Take it to another level, levitate, levitate, self-take over, we got to levitate the gravity. Supercharged, super large, super hard, getting outside, 자꾸 raise the bar, yeah, I'm about to do it. XXL, doing XXL. XXL, doing XXL.
이 논슬립 양말의 제일 큰 특징이 땀 흡수가 잘 되고 안 미끄러진다는 거니까 우리가 지금 물을 준비했단 말이에요. 타쿠마가 덜 밀리면 이게 재미가 없으니까 빠르게 와서 쫙 서봐요. 우와! 안 가지?
너무 안 가.
안 가.
진짜 안 가.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the critical moment that decides the match. Do socks really make a difference in performance? One wrong move here and it's game over. And just as I say that, he breaks through. And what a header! Oh, look at his footwork. No slipping at all. Thanks to the double-layer non-slip socks, he locks the feet perfectly to the ground. The grip of the polyurethane pads is incredible. It reduces muscle strain while maintaining full rebound power. These aren't just socks. This is performance-engineered tech. Introducing WeFoot non-slip technology.
Curious about what's special about K-content?
In recent years, Korean cultural content has taken the world by storm.
So, what's your favorite K-content? Movies, dramas, music, exhibitions?
Are you ready to take your pick?
Starting with globally acclaimed K-movies. It's no longer rare for Korean movies to receive awards at international film festivals. And we can't talk enough about the K-drama sensation.
It's not surprising that drama filming sites go on to become major tourist attractions.
When we are on the topic of K-pop, we can't leave out idol groups. They are the driving force of K-pop.
K-pop idol group members do not only have exceptional singing and dancing skills, but they have the looks too. I'm a huge fan.
I really like Korean underground music. These days, talented K-indie bands are recognized overseas as well.
Oh, and Korea also has a lot of music festivals. You can meet musicians of all genres at these events.
Exhibitions happen in Korea all year round.
I also enjoy going to the theatre. There's no shortage of musicals, plays, and performances to choose from. So keep an eye on the theatre scene.
Then there is K-design, blending traditional and modern elements.
K-fashion, leading trends.
K-beauty, which takes beauty to the next level.
K-content, receiving praise the world over. Watch it, experience it, and enjoy it.
a Korean college student reportedly kidnapped and killed by an organized crime gang in Cambodia was returned to South Korea this morning. Meanwhile, investigations on the repatriated Korean suspect from Cambodia are also picking up speed, with Korean authorities issuing arrest warrants for 48 of them. South Korean stocks continue to rally, mainly led by semiconductor firms. The benchmark KOSPI has hit another intraday all-time high, as shares of SK hynix broke the 500,000 Korean won, and Samsung Electronics closed in on a milestone share price of 100,000 won. Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party leader, Sanae Takaichi, is set to become the nation's first ever female prime minister today, after her party agreed to form a new coalition with a minor party. Hello and thanks for joining us on Arirang News. The remains of the Korean college student whose death spurred public demand for government action over crimes against Koreans in Cambodia have been returned to South Korea. And the investigation into Koreans suspected of involvement in phishing scams in Cambodia is now picking up speed. Our Kim Do-yeon starts us off.
74 days after he was found dead, the cremated remains of a Korean college student known by his last name Park, the victim of kidnapping in Cambodia, have returned to Seoul. The remains arrived on Tuesday morning following a 3-hour-long autopsy in Cambodia by a team which included South Korean officials the day before. According to police, the autopsy revealed that there was no damage to Park's internal organs. The exact cause of death will be determined following further tissue analysis in South Korea and a comprehensive review of the investigation results from both countries. Mr. Park entered Cambodia in July and was reportedly confined by a criminal organization there. He was found dead in a car in Kampot province with signs of torture, which prompted public outrage and led to a government-wide on-the-ground response to crimes against Koreans in Cambodia. Meanwhile, investigations into the repatriated Korean suspects from Cambodia, allegedly involved as perpetrators in phishing schemes against Koreans, are picking up speed. 64 people were already detained and transferred to Korea by the Cambodian authorities, and Korean authorities have filed for arrest warrants for 59 of them. Arrest warrants were issued for 48 of them, but they too claim they were victims of torture and forced illegal labor.
전기 지짐으로 고문하기 힘들었습니다. 진짜 죽기 전까지만 맞았습니다.
The Seoul Metro Police also announced a task force comprised of 40 officers for overseas kidnapping or missing person cases. In addition, the police also formed a team to look into the activities of Cambodian group called the Prince Group in South Korea, which has been identified as a key criminal syndicate operating in both countries. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, President Lee Jae-myung has urged the police to strengthen international cooperation and adopt AI technologies to tackle drug, voice phishing, and deepfake-related crimes. The president was speaking as he marked South Korea's 80th Police Day today, where he also recognized the sacrifices and dedication of police officers over the past 8 decades. He also urged the officers to establish an investigation system that can be trusted by the people, with reform in the works to adjust investigative powers between prosecutors and police. Recently, a surge in online scams in Cambodia has made headlines, with South Koreans found to be involved as victims and suspected perpetrators. On the economic front, South Korean stocks opened higher again this morning, and the benchmark KOSPI hit another new intraday all-time high. The KOSPI surpassed Monday's record close, continuing its climb supported by strong performances in stocks boosted by momentum from U.S. tech shares. South Korea semiconductor stocks are also following the upward move, with SK hynix shares price breaking the 500,000 Korean won mark for the first time today. Samsung Electronics stock is currently trading at a record high of 99,900 won, closing in on a milestone share price of 100,000 Korean won. And South Korea's ruling party is pushing ahead with its signature reforms, unveiling bold plans to reshape both the judiciary and the media landscape, moves that have already sparked a fierce political debate. Our political correspondent Muniran reports.
The ruling Democratic Party in South Korea is accelerating its three major reforms following the passage of its prosecutorial reform bill. The DP's newly unveiled judicial reform proposal seeks to nearly double the number of Supreme Court justices from 14 to 26. This expansion, which would add 4 new justices annually until the third year of enactment, aims to speed up case handling and diversify perspectives in the top court. Given that the terms of 10 current justices, including Chief Justice Cho Lee-dae, will expire during his tenure, President Lee Jae-myung could appoint a total of 22 justices under this new system. The proposal has sparked heated partisan debate. The DP says the reforms are intended to restore public trust in the judiciary, not to interfere with court decisions.
Opposing judicial reform is no different from saying that. Given the opportunity, one can make biased rulings based on political interests. Judicial reform is about legally ensuring political neutrality under all circumstances.
The main opposition, People Power Party, however, argues that expanding the Supreme Court is a way to exert political influence over the judiciary, calling it a destruction of judicial independence.
The judicial reform being pushed by the Lee administration is a judicial coup with zero independence and fairness, an attempt by the government to control trials and dictate their outcomes.
Other elements of the judicial reform bill include diversifying the Supreme Court Justice Recommendation Committee, introducing a judicial performance evaluation system, increasing public disclosure of court rulings, and creating a pre-hearing system for search and seizure warrants. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party also unveiled a media reform bill aimed at cracking down on false or manipulated information online. The proposal introduces a punitive damages system, allowing courts to impose up to 5 times the actual damages on media outlets or YouTubers found to have deliberately spread false content. To prevent abuse of defamation lawsuits by public figures, the bill adds a provision against cases meant to silence criticism. Moon Hae-ryun, Arirang News.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he expects to reach a strong trade deal with Beijing at his upcoming meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping in South Korea. Meanwhile, during his meeting with the Australian Prime Minister at the White House, Trump also highlighted recent trade agreements with South Korea and Japan. Our Lee Seung-jae tells us more.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he expects Washington and Beijing to reach what he called a very strong trade deal during his upcoming meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. The comments came Monday during a White House meeting with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, where Trump also highlighted recent fair trade agreements his administration has secured with South Korea and Japan.
We worked out a very fair trade deal. Japan, we worked out a very fair deal. South Korea, where I'll be meeting President Xi, we worked out a very fair deal. And I expect we'll probably work out a very fair deal with President Xi of China.
Trump reiterated that he plans to meet President Xi in a couple of weeks as South Korea prepares to host the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in the southeastern city of Gyeongju from October 31st to November 1st. The U.S. president is widely expected to make a state visit to Korea from October 29th to 30th, with the summit offering a key stage for renewed dialogue between the world's 2 largest economies amid mounting trade tensions. Those tensions have sharply intensified following Beijing's recent decision to tighten export controls on rare earth elements, materials that are essential to the production of advanced electronics, electric vehicles, and military hardware. In response, Trump sharply criticized China for what he described as an extraordinarily aggressive stance on trade, warning that unless progress is made, Washington will double down on punitive measures. Meanwhile, Trump and Australian Prime Minister Albanese signed a new agreement on rare earths and critical minerals on Monday. The deal aims to secure a reliable supply of these vital materials as China moves to tighten its control over global production and exports.
We are discussing critical minerals and rare earths, and we're going to be signing an agreement that's been negotiated over a period of 4 or 5 months.
The upcoming APEC summit now looms as a crucial test of whether the world's two largest economies can diffuse another round of trade confrontation, or whether the latest wave of tariffs will deepen an already fragile global trade environment. 이승재, Arirang News.
Over in Japan, the country is set to make history on Tuesday as Sanae Takaichi becomes the nation's first ever female prime minister. The ruling Liberal Democratic Party leader is expected to be officially appointed later today, with both houses of parliament holding a prime ministerial vote this afternoon. Earlier this month, Takaichi won the LDP leadership race, securing control of the ruling party. Once elected, she will become Japan's 104th prime minister and the first woman to hold the office since the cabinet system was introduced nearly 140 years ago. The APEC Finance and Structural Reform Ministers meeting kicked off today, ahead of the APEC leaders meeting next week here in South Korea. During the three-day meeting in Incheon, ministers will discuss ways to achieve sustainable growth in response to the acceleration of the digital economy, including artificial intelligence. Vice minister-level officials from China and Japan are attending the meeting, while the U.S. is represented by a Deputy Assistant Secretary. Eyes were on a potential visit by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to discuss a South Korea-U.S. currency swap, but he is not in attendance. Starting with the finance ministers meeting today, a joint session on innovation and digitalization and the structural reform ministers meeting will be held tomorrow, followed by a joint press conference on the 23rd. And every 2 years, South Korea showcases its defense capabilities at ADEX, the country's largest aerospace and defense exhibition. And at this year's event, the country's latest unmanned systems and enhanced defense equipment were on display. Our Park Jun-an was there.
The South Korean Air Force's Black Eagles aerobatic flight team is showcasing their spectacular flight performances. The team also painted the sky with smoke, forming the tech symbol, the central emblem of the South Korean flag that represents balance and harmony. The Black Eagles also performed a formation named Heart and Cupid, drawing heart-shaped clouds in the sky. This air show was the opening event of the Seoul International Aerospace and Defense Exhibition 2025, the country's largest defense-related event that promotes the excellence of South Korean defense capabilities.
Seeing it up close, it was just amazing. I thought about how hard they must have trained. Watching them fly made me feel more patriotic and connected.
It was so cool. I wish I could fly one myself.
Seeing it in person felt really different from watching it on YouTube. You can feel the thrill that videos just can't capture, and I really like that.
After the air show ended, visitors had the chance to take a closer look at the actual planes, helicopters, and various other defense-related machines. Following the conclusion of the three-day air show, the defense exhibition opened on Monday. The exhibition will be open to the public for 5 days until 5 p.m. on Friday. This next-generation infantry fighting vehicle features technology that can counter drone attacks, a crucial capability in modern warfare. When asked about the future of modern warfare shaped by AI and unmanned systems, a senior research engineer said,
AI-based autonomous driving and detection tracking technology enables unmanned vehicles to enter hazardous areas without risking human lives. AI can also maximize effectiveness by refining and training data to suit South Korea's military environment. Based on sovereign AI, it is expected to prevent technology leakage and strengthen combat capabilities through independent AI advancement.
The operations team of ADEX 2025 said that this year's exhibition will serve as a stage not only for defense products, but also for highlighting next-generation innovations that shape the future of advanced air mobility. Park Jun-han, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. Starting in Israel, where U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Presidential Advisor Jared Kushner arrived on Monday to monitor the shaky Gaza ceasefire they helped broker. A U.S. embassy spokesperson confirmed the envoys' return, saying they will meet members of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government to keep the agreement on track. Vice President J.D. Vance is also traveling to Israel to check on how things are going, acknowledging there will be fits and starts in the peace process. The delegation's visits underscores continued U.S. pressure to prevent a collapse of President Trump's 20-point peace plan, which includes a future stabilization force in Gaza and the disarmament of Hamas. Officials say Witkoff and Kushner will head next to Cairo for talks with Egyptian and Palestinian mediators. In Washington, White House Economic Director Kevin Hassett predicted on Monday that the 3-week U.S. government shutdown will end this week as pressure mounts on lawmakers to strike a funding deal. He said moderate Democrats could soon vote to reopen the government and that they had been waiting until after the weekend's No Kings protests. The Senate on Monday failed for the 11th time to pass a short-term bill blocked over disputes about health care funding. Hassett warned that if talks drag on, the administration may take stronger steps to bring Democrats to the table. He said the president remains involved, but believes the Senate must break the impasse, calling a breakthrough very close. U.S. tech giant Amazon says a massive outage of its cloud computing service, which caused global internet disruptions, has been fully resolved. The problem began early Monday, shutting down a range of online platforms from social media and streaming services to food delivery and banking apps. Amazon blamed a malfunction in its domain name system, which converts web addresses into Internet Protocol numbers. The company reported normal operations across its systems by Monday evening. Experts say the all-day disruption highlights the world's heavy dependence on a few tech giants to keep the Internet running. Officials confirmed there was no sign of a cyber attack, calling it a technical failure that Amazon engineers had repaired. Hollywood's biggest names filled Los Angeles on Saturday night for the Academy Museum Gala, where energy, glamour, and Oscar buzz dominated the evening. Stars from George Clooney and Penelope Cruz to Kim Kardashian, Hailey Bieber, and Robert Downey Jr. walked the carpet, which was powder blue to honor the museum's Jaws exhibition. The fundraiser event celebrated Cruz, Bowen Yang, filmmaker Walter Salles, and rocker Bruce Springsteen, who performed a live set. Director Amy Hamas said the gala raised over $12 million, the museum's record since opening in 2021. Choo Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
I thought I dressed warmer than yesterday, but that chill felt stronger than expected. It's unusual to shiver when the leaves haven't even turned into autumn colors yet. This dramatic cold is caused by the frigid air streaming in from the northwest. But the air will get much softer as the week goes on, and we can expect things to return to normal by Thursday. Skies nationwide will be mostly cloudy before gradually clearing later today. However, eastern regions will stay gray throughout the day. Then East Coast will see 5 to 20 millimeters of more rainfall through late tonight. And this afternoon could feel breezier than yesterday. Seoul gets up to 15 degrees Celsius under brighter skies, Daegu topping out at 18 degrees. Rain in East Coast will continue through Friday. Meanwhile, keep those winter coats on until tomorrow. Then relief on Thursday will ease us back into that comfortable autumn air.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.
That all the meals here serve as a foundation of its practices. The process of making a meal requires deep interconnectedness. And being thankful for the effort is the first step forward. Tastes rendered by time, scented by nature, temple food is made with the wisdom of its practitioners, and it's a peaceful meal to fill your heart. Gratitude is the core of the practice. The refrain from the 5 pungent ingredients